Hey, what's up, everyone? My name is Lionel, and I'm your host for LT Productions, and you are watching another edition of Speak Up. It's where I talk about different hot topics, celebrity news, gossip, and whatever that's out there. I appreciate everyone for coming to my channel. Please like this video. You can subscribe, and you can leave your comments below. Now, let's speak up on these issues. All right, y'all. So, first, we're going to speak on Mrs. Stormy Steele. We got the news that OWN is expanding, Kingdom Reign is expanding, the Belle Collective is expanding into a franchise. We are going to be getting Belle Collective Birmingham. I said, Lord. And Stormy Steele is going to be the one that's going to be the anchor of it all, the star of it. So let's get into this article that has been printed by a Verity magazine. All right, so I say that a lot. Belle Collective owns unscripted series following a black businesswoman in Jackson, Mississippi, is expanding into a franchise. The network has greenlit Belle Collective Birmingham, starring Stormy Steele. Additionally, we'll speak about this in a few minutes, the original Belle Collective will return to OWN for its 7th season on February 13th. Steele is the founder and CEO of the multi-million-dollar brand Canvas Beauty. According to the official logline, Belle Collective Birmingham follows her as she connects with a circle of driven, successful Southern belles in the rising cultural hub of Birmingham who are determined to transform the city into a thriving destination for beauty and influence. Stormy must navigate Birmingham's deeply connected social and business scenes to forge alliances with fellow powerhouses, including her savvy CFO, Amber Jones, entrepreneur, Tiffany Jones, marketing strategist, Fumi Ford, model and marketeer, Sonetta Hawkins, and talent manager, Kalin Iman. The Belle Collective franchise spotlights dynamic women who embody the strength, ambition, and pride of black female entrepreneurship, redefining what it means to be a modern Southern belle who unapologetically carves her own path, her own. The original series, are we going to talk about that? No, we'll talk about that in just a second, which is Belle Collective, the original series. So, I keep saying so. Stormy Steele, whom we are first familiar with from Love and Marriage Huntsville, from the Mother Hub, Love and Marriage Huntsville. That was also a franchise also. Kingdom Reign brought us Love and Marriage Huntsville, Love and Marriage DC, and Love and Marriage Detroit. A lot of stuff happened for DC, and at this point, people still begging for it, but I don't think that that's going to happen. And how I feel that OWN played in our faces with Detroit, I don't think that we're going to get another season with them, but it's still earlier in the year. I don't know what's to happen. However, Stormy Steele was on Love and Marriage Huntsville. She stepped away after last season for a lot of reasons. And it has to deal with, one component was, it had to deal with the fan base over there. It's been toxic for years. She said that there was other things, it was hard to really do this and really run this company because of how fast the company was building, was at that point rising. So she stepped away from it all. She stepped away from a lot of it. So I don't know what season you would call it because we're in season 10, which really isn't season 10, but how OWN has broken up the seasons. A whole season is really split up in two. But anyway, yeah, so I will say that I'm excited. To be honest, I really felt like OWN was somewhat giving up on Carlos King and Kingdom Reign Entertainment, if I'm going to be honest, because one, the programming, how they're splitting up these seasons is just so crazy. It's just not like a split where you're getting some type of climatic cliffhanger. You're just like, oh, okay, so we're off again. It took, how long? For Love and Marriage DC, for that back half of season 3 to actually, or season 2, whatever you want to call it, to even come forth. It was like we saw Love and Marriage DC in like early fall of whatever year that was, and then we didn't get the last part of the season until spring. Plus they had filmed the reunion, so it's odd for us because it's like, I'm sure after stuff aired, y'all got stuff to say. It's just been weird. at how they've been doing. Even with Love and Marriage Detroit, there was like only 8 or so episodes, and they still split that up. I was like, how do y'all do that? I think there was like 12. It ended up being like 12, I think. I'm like, how do y'all do that for the whole year? Like, we forget that stuff. It's not like there's much promotion out there. There's only so much you can do for a limited episode series that's only on for half of the year. Like, they're on for a month or so at the beginning of part of the year, and then another month or so at the end of the year. I didn't like that. Then Belle Collective came back, and the season just sucked. And it was very limited. They only had like 6 or 7 episodes. I was like, what are we doing? Like, you can't get into that. There was no reason for a reunion, and I'm glad that they were smart to only have one part for the reunion because nothing was going on. And then with Love and Marriage Huntsville, they've been on like 3 breaks thus far. However, they're kind of making up for it. They did have some type of cliffhanger climax, and they're going to be returning in March. And there will be, Mr. Carlos said that there are 15 more episodes, plus a reunion, which is probably going to be another 3 parts. So that's a lot, y'all. So anyways, yeah, I was very surprised, but I'm happy. Stormy is not someone that I particularly liked when she first came on the Love and Marriage Huntsville. She grew on me. I've been kind of like, okay, you can hang around. That's how I've been towards her, because in the beginning I'm like, okay, what's going on with this girl? Anyways, what I did say with Love and Marriage Huntsville, when it first came back on for its 10th season, probably a few episodes in, I was like, this show is missing something like a Stormy. Like, either Stormy needs to be here or a Stormy-like type character, or even Tiffany. A lot of y'all don't like her, but it's like there's just missing elements here. Like, something needs to happen. Someone to pull people in, for one, and possibly create mess. I think Destiny has been the one that's been afforded that on Love and Marriage Huntsville, where she's got to do all this, but it's kind of still missing because how can I say this? Destiny's doing double duty. Now we're getting into more of her personal story, and I thank God for that. But also, it's like she's got to be mediator, plus she's got to be bone carrier. And I don't think that that's a load that she can really carry in that way, in the capacity that they have her doing it at. Like, or at least need 2 people to kind of help move the story along. So anyway, yeah, so congratulations, Mrs. Stormy, and also to this cast and Mr. Carlos. I'm excited. I'm ready to see it. It's going to come sometime in 2026. I do not know when that's going to happen. Now, on to the mothership of Belle Collective. I'm glad that at least Belle Collective has shown itself worthy of getting a franchise. So, y'all stood the test of times. I'll say that much, Belle Collective. Even though I do have some things I can say about the Mississippi Belle Collective. Anyways, let me see. All right, Belle Collective, the mothers, Mississippi. In season 7, Letitia finds her marriage to Glenn at a breaking point and makes the courageous decision to prioritize herself. I thought she was doing that during season 6. Even that's what she promoted when she had her own interview on Carlos King's Monday Night Live. So obviously we still getting the crap from Letitia and Glenn. I'm over that. Marie is also rocked by a devastating betrayal when she learns Cedric has been unfaithful. Duh. Well, I'll just wait for that. I'll wait for what happens, but duh. Meanwhile, Latrice and Cliff are riding high as the restaurant Taste emerges as Jackson's hottest dining destination. But Latrice is soon forced to confront a serious health scare that threatens everything she has built. Okay? Now, are we going to talk about what happened last year? This is early 2025. But what happened at that restaurant? That's what we need to be talking about, too, along with this health scare, whatever it is. And what that was, there was a something where Taste and Latrice and them, they were getting sued. This ex-worker put out some allegations of domestic violence and I think not getting paid and all that good stuff against Cliff and then also Latrice. And the domestic violence was Cliff doing some physical violence towards her. Selena's long-awaited wedding to Mike is fast approaching, but with plans behind schedule and a house hunt complicated by Mike's reluctance to let go of his bachelor pad, the pressure is mounting. That's a story that's going to be oof to me. I'm going to have to see how that turns out, because it looks like Mike and Selena, y'all need to be friends. So far, I got to see what's up. Carrie is facing financial challenges as the third location of her restaurant franchise, Brick and Spoon, struggles to gain traction. Then tensions reach a boiling point when Letitia and Latrice's simmering feud erupts into a massive confrontation at Selena's 50th birthday celebration, sending shockwaves through the collective and plunging the group into chaos. Yeah, so since its debut, Belle Collective has become a defining series for OWN, captivating audiences with authentic storytelling and celebrating the strength, ambition, and brilliance of Black women in the South. OWN President Tina Perry said in a statement, "We're proud to expand this powerful franchise and introduce compelling narratives and dynamic personalities from Birmingham." Again, congratulations. And I do still have to congratulate Belle Collective. Despite how I feel about certain things that's happening on there, you guys have been able to help in getting a franchise series, a spinoff for the show. So, congratulations. All right, the next thing we will be talking about, or topic, is Kristen Gold. Kristen Gold is Jennifer Williams' husband. And you know that he has been in the news a lot for allegedly scamming. Well, it looks like he's been found guilty by default. All right, so this article, it comes from Urban Belle magazine. Jennifer Williams' husband fails to respond to lawsuit and must pay former client, that's with an S, 6 figures. Basketball Wives star Jennifer Williams has expressed frustration with the skepticism surrounding her husband, Kristen Gold. However, that hasn't slowed down the legal problems. Last year, Kristen was accused of defrauding clients in his investment business. They went on to sue him for fraud. A YouTuber and an attorney was the first to break the story last year. Jennifer and Kristen have vehemently denied the accusations. The situation led to Jennifer falling out with Evelyn Lozada during the most recent season of Basketball Wives. Evelyn knows one of Kristen's alleged victims. The person happens to be related to her ex, Carl Crawford. It's interesting enough, Kristen failed to show up in court or respond to the lawsuit, which resulted in a default judgment of $367,625.20 for Kristen's alleged victims and former clients. The plaintiffs accused Kristen of soliciting money for investments, but failing to invest, as well as allegedly running a Ponzi scheme. Kristen allegedly received $120,460.86 from these former clients. Kristen was also accused of violating the Georgia RICO Act, which includes alleged racketeering, fraud, and embezzlement. The plaintiffs were awarded liquidated damages, treble damages, and pre- and post-judgment interest, which all will amount to $367,625.20. So, I'm sure there's going to be an explanation of, I'm not guilty. But you are guilty because you didn't show up. It's a way for him, I think, to still say, oh, well, I wasn't really proven guilty. They just made me guilty because I didn't come to court. And then you can just make an excuse of, well, I didn't come to court, and they went on and made a decision for me or for them and all that good stuff. But that doesn't mean that I scammed. Now, I don't know why you didn't show up. I'm sure there's going to be some type of reason as to why you didn't that nobody's going to really buy. But Kristen, I think that this is bad because y'all kept denying and denying and denying. I mean, I don't know. Well, since this is like a civil suit, I guess this doesn't go against your like criminal record. This is not a criminal case. I don't know. I didn't watch Carlos King. He did a report on it. So at least on the civil side, he just owes money. And maybe he's saying, well, I'd rather do that, pay this money because he has some other debts that he's paying off. I remember all that was happening because Jennifer was trying to figure out, they were trying to figure out how they were going to have this wedding. They went over to Paris to have this wedding and all this good stuff, but the finances weren't financing due to a lot of Christian's debt that he was already paying back. I don't know. It feels like people who file bankruptcy when they know they did whatever, in my opinion. But it's interesting. I guess we're just going to have to hear what happens during the next season of Basketball Wives, or maybe they'll do some interviews later on. But congratulations to all the victims out there. You got your money plus some. Now, let's move on to TJ Holmes and Amy Robach. You know, those two that were working on ABC, Good Morning America, it got outed that they were having an affair. They left. They've already started their own podcast and engaged to be married, soon to be married pretty soon. Well, the exes of Amy and TJ Holmes got together themselves, and they are a couple, and they are living together. So the headline has invited TJ Holmes and Amy Robach have sent wedding invites to the exes Andrew and Mary Lee Feiberg. I said, what the? I don't know what's going on, but it looks like, to me, they should have some type of reality show, because it's interesting to see that these folks got together. They had an affair. The other ones decided that they were going to be a couple. And I'm just questioning, was it really an affair or not? Because it's not making any sense as to why people are, why this has happened so cohesively, in my opinion. But anyways, this comes from blacksportsonline.com. TJ Holmes and Amy Robach are inviting former partners 3 years after the affair scandal. Andrew Shue and Mary Lee Feiberg were married. Oh, wait. I don't know what that means. Andrew Shue is from Melrose Place. Anyways, according to reports, TJ Holmes and Amy Robach are inviting their former partners to their weddings. Us Weekly claimed on Thursday that the former Good Morning America 3 co-hosts are asking Robach's ex-husband Andrew Shue and Holmes' ex-wife Mary Lee Feiberg to attend their wedding, 3 years after their scandalous romance resulted in their dismissal. Notably, Shue and Feiberg, who are in a committed relationship of their own, are not expecting the prospective bride and groom to attend the ceremony. So y'all just being performative? Robach, 52, really wishes they could be a blended and normal family and all get along, according to the outlet. Nonetheless, the children of Holmes and her, together with their ex-spouses, will play a significant part in the service. According to the insider, Amy wants TJ's daughter, Sabine, and her daughters, Ava and Annie, to be bridesmaids. The wedding will not feature anyone from Good Morning America as of now, and will not be a celebrity-heavy event. Only, their closest friends and family, including around 50 to 60 guests, are expected to attend the private outing. All right, so TJ Holmes and Amy getting married, but they're not expecting the exes to come, but they did invite them. It's kind of one of those backhanded type of invites, in my opinion, of what I'm picking up. Like, let me invite them. Or I wish we could be a regular blended family. Y'all cheated. Y'all both cheated, and now you're trying to become in holy matrimony with your exes. I don't know how that works. I don't know. But it's quite crazy. But I thought I would bring that story because I saw that headline. Now, our next story, which is the last, is Christian Scott. Now, Christian and Kristy, they are social media influencers. They were this power couple that was on TikTok, Instagram, and all that. They did a lot of skits and stuff and just made a lot of money and whatnot. I would see a lot of their videos. I guess for like the last couple of years, I had not, because I don't really follow them, but a lot of their videos will go viral. All of things that Kristy will come up with to make, I said Christian Scott, I meant Desmond Scott, sorry about that. Desmond Scott. That made Desmond crack up, like really laugh, really, if you want to call it, quirky, and for some people thought it was odd, because that's not how a man is supposed to laugh. Of course, many have put the gay label on him, because that's just not how a man, especially a black man, is supposed to laugh and all that good stuff. I never did it. I didn't take their stuff too seriously. I laughed at it because he was laughing, and then I moved on. Anyways, there's been a lot of deep dives about them and as far as what's going on, because what we've been told is that Kristy Scott has filed for divorce. TMZ has reported on it, and I'm reading an article from People, because what's been alleged is that Desmond Scott had an affair. And Kristy has been alluding to that. And recently, Desmond was caught kissing another woman that some people online are saying is trans, which I don't know about that. Anyways, this is on the 15th. This was printed from People magazine. Kristy Scott alludes to current living situation amid Desmond Scott divorce and cryptic Instagram post. So, Kristy Scott is continuing to drop hints on Instagram. After more than a decade of marriage, Kristy filed for divorce from her husband of 12 years, Desmond, on December 30th. According to court records obtained by People, the court records reported that Kristy cited alleged infidelity as the reason for the pair's split. The divorce made headlines in early January after Desmond opened up about his split from Kristy online. Earlier this week, fans were convinced that a TikTok post from Kristy, shared nearly a month before the news of the filing became public, had hinted at her divorce. In the video, Kristy showed herself struggling as she attempted to cook for herself. She added text over that read, "Anytime I attempt to cook." Scott can be seen checking the oven in her place as fire alarm sounds in the background. Fans flooded the comment section of the December video to point out that, in retrospect, Sarah cooking for herself was a subtle hint at the pair's divorce. Scott, a chef, typically took charge of cooking. In a recent Instagram post, Kristy appeared to allude to a divorce again as she addressed her current living situation. Posing in a sultry red dress and matching heels on top of a kitchen table, the content creator shared a series of snaps of her throughout her house, January 14th. She captioned the picture, "Same address. It's a new chef in the kitchen. I see what you did there," one commenter wrote. "Ate, but not his food." News of Kristy and Desmond's divorce gained traction this month when Desmond opened up about his split from Kristy on Instagram stories. Desmond says, "I want to begin by apologizing to Kristy, our family, and anyone who has been impacted by the public attention surrounding the situation." Desmond began in the post shared on Jan 10th. "I know this has been disappointing for many, and I'm truly sorry for the hurt it has caused." Desmond then wrote that he and Kristy faced challenges and made sincere efforts to work through them. After he told her he wanted to separate at the end of 2025, the father of two explained he eventually made choices that I'm not proud of. So he wanted to separate. Interesting. And I think that's what I was hearing online anyways. Desmond says that, "I took responsibility for those actions. I shared this with her directly and personally, and ultimately we decided to divorce." Desmond concluded, "I ask for privacy and compassion as we navigate this difficult chapter of our lives. Thank you to everyone who has supported us over the years. I'm grateful for that support." As many have said before, you guys have brought your relationship online for us to pick at. And now you can't just pick and choose on what you think that other people are able to now want to zoom in on as far as privacy. Now, do I think that there's some respect that should be done? Yeah, because this could happen to anyone. But just telling somebody that you want privacy, I don't think that's going to be possible, Desmond and or Kristy. Sorry, but I do have compassion. This wasn't some fly-by-night relationship. They've been married since 2014 when they were 19 and 20 years old. So that's 10 years later. You're different people. By 30, there's a different you. They tied the knot after 4 years of dating. So they were high school sweethearts. They had to have met around 14 or 15 years old. That's half of their age that they've been together. In 2024, Kristy and Desmond celebrated 10 years of marriage with a glamorous floral-themed party. The couple told People at the time that they took the anniversary party as an opportunity to redo their wedding as the adults that they are now, celebrating the life that we've built and journeyed thus far. We have been best friends since teenagers, and that's never changed. They said at the time, "We focus on genuinely having fun, constantly laughing, keeping things light and spontaneous, and finding humor in everyday life." The couple shares, adding 10 years flew by. "We literally are grown up together and navigating their life together." Both Kristy and Desmond are popular for their online content over the years. Kristy has amassed 9.5 million Instagram followers and 16.8 million on TikTok. Desmond, a chef, has 1.8 followers on Instagram and 1.5 million on TikTok. He was always on there, as far as I know. But anyways, yeah. So recently, he was spotted kissing a woman. Since the buzz is out there, is that they think that, oh, she's divorcing. They thought it was her that filed for divorce. Or she may have divorced, but he at least asked for the separation. It's because they believe that he's gay. So now there was video clips of Christian making out with this woman. This woman's name is, do I have it? I don't want to bore you too much longer. What is her name? Marissa Springer. She's like 24, in college, and a model. According to what I was reading on TMZ, they only met that night. They were mutually brought together by mutual friends. I mean, they were brought together by mutual friends. I'm like, and they was kissing like that? Some think that was just a distraction to put the gay rumors to rest. One, I'm gonna say this. I don't think that we can just keep putting the label on men whom we don't even know the definition of what masculine really is. We just said that this is what it is, and that if you're not doing that, then you're gay. That is so crazy. I don't want to do that. One, it's his place to actually come out if that's what he's doing, and if that's how he's living. We don't have the, I don't know. And this is for straight and gay people, because y'all do try to push people out the closet and force people into these labels because of whatever you think that they are. I don't think that that's fair. I don't think that that's fair whatsoever. I don't know if it's a distraction. It seems weird that they had just met that night, and the kissing that they was doing, oh, you know that they were smashing later on that night. Ain't no way. They may not have even made it to wherever they were going to. His home, hotel, they may have gotten it on in the car. But, so he would probably be about 6 or 7 years older than this model anyways. I don't know, but whatever. Anyways, that's the latest. Desmond, I'm not going to be all up in your business. However, if something new pops up, I'm going to talk about it, just to let you know. I loved your videos. Other people thought it was annoying. I was okay with them. Let me just say it that way. I wasn't invested. I wasn't watching every day and all that. It's just when a video would go viral, I would watch. But anyways, prayers for you all, and hopefully everything is handled as discretionally as possible, and all that good stuff, and they both can move on and have a healthy co-parenting relationship and all that good stuff. We'll have to see what happens. All right, but that's all I do have, y'all. Thank you for joining me for this edition of Speak Up. You can leave your comments below. What do you think about this new spinoff, even with Belle Collective? It's coming back February 13th, which is also my birthday. Hey, so I don't know when you're gonna get that review, but I'll be reviewing. Mr. Carlos King just made a post today stating that he watched the first 3 episodes of the new season of Belle Collective, and he said the whole cast is clocked in, and he saw a lot of things that he's gagging at. I said, oh, okay. So I guess it's a lot better, because he wasn't saying this last season, though. I wasn't seeing those type of posts, just to let you know. But that's all I got. Let me know what you thought of this TJ and Amy situation, Christian, all that good stuff. I appreciate you for coming to my channel. Tune in tomorrow. I'll have some more stuff up if you're interested in it. Like, comment, subscribe, share, and until the next one, peace.